Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 4, number 2, the groin, the adductors. So the adductors consist of the pectineus and a bunch of other different muscles, which I don't really want to get into because there's a lot of anatomy behind this. Basically from the pubis, the pelvis, all the way to the patella tendon, not the patellar tendon, the knee, basically right around here. Let's keep it simple. Here, just think that. And right smack dab in the middle where most of your trigger points are going to be, specifically from the lower portion, the middle, and then we'll be using the barbell as well. It's a little bit of a mess here. The barbell as well to get to the deeper upper portion of the groin. So we're gonna start here with a softball. You can use a PVC pipe, lacrosse ball on a book. I got a 2-inch PVC pipe right here as well. Softball is my choice for this, weapon of choice. You can use the barbell the whole way through and just lay on your back and relax. But first thing I like to do is get a 90-degree position with my hip to my knee and my knee to my ankle. I'm gonna lay down into a pronated position. Oh, baby. And try to just put the ball right in the middle of my groin, my lower groin, right about there. You can straighten your knee if you want. I like to bend the knee. And just push in. I'm in the middle portion. You can go a little bit up towards the VMO, which is the vastus medialis, the medial portion of the quadricep, or you can go a little bit lower, which is kind of like the back side of the hamstring, towards the hamstring, I mean. That works too. I mean, they're all good. I like to stay more towards the middle. That's where most of the groin tension will be. And once again, what are we trying to do when we're trigger pointing, guys? We're trying to rehydrate that fascia. It's dehydrated like clay. We're trying to rehydrate so we can store water. Fascia accounts for 60 to roughly, I think 70% of your total body's hydration. Maybe it's 55 to 65%, something like that. Different sources say different things, but it accounts for a lot of your hydration. Therefore, you should probably take it seriously, because the only way to acquire that hydrating effect throughout your entire body is to unlock the fascia and be able to store water, because it's like a sponge. You're basically pushing that sponge into a glass bowl of water, and it's right above the glass bowl. It's all dry, the sponge, if you can imagine that. And if you push it in deeper into the bowl, it soaks up all that water and it comes back moist and bouncy and hydrated, I guess. We're trying to get that bounce back in our tissue, and this is the way to do it, guys. If you are looking into like Agnes von der Planets for the first time, or Ray Peets, you know, they're two different scopes, but a lot of them talk about not having to drink as much water. That's true if you can trigger point, if you can store water. But the thing is, this is all theory. It's all great theories. You know, you do see it in effect too when you do change your diet. Like myself, I significantly lowered my water consumption since doing these diets. Changing my lifestyle, of course, you know, reducing stress, being less exposed to 5G, Wi-Fi routers, etc. But you will not acquire that true hydrating effect. And by the way, you should be drinking adequate amounts of water. I recommend 32 to 64 ounces of reverse osmosis or distilled water, but you will not acquire that true hydrating effect until you do deep tissue trigger pointing. So I just hit my lower portion of my groin. I hit the lower portion of my right one earlier. I'm gonna hit the middle portion now. So stay on that same muscle, guys. We're hitting 5 to 10 minutes each muscle. Each spot can be 2 to 3 minutes. For instance, your lower portion could be 5 minutes for the entire spot if it's that bad. The middle on my right one is way worse than the middle on my left one. You know, you're gonna find these deficiencies. And that's the thing, guys. You might find these deficiencies. You're going to release them. You're going to rehydrate your fascia. That's great. Make this the foundation of your health program daily, 30 to 60 minutes, at least every other day. We're going to definitely be having a more simple program. If you guys are in a rush, you can do like 20, maybe even 10 minutes. That's not recommended, but you know, it's better than doing nothing, right? So 20 to 60 minutes a day, I'd say, at least intensely, vigorously, diligently for 3 to 6 months, and then make sure that it's on your life plan, your life program, because we're living in a world where dehydration is more prone to everyone than ever before. Why? Stress. Physical, chemical, emotional stressors. We got 5G, like I said, that's creating more calcium deposits. That's burning our minerals up even more, our magnesium burn rate. This is why we sell magnesium bicarbonate, because it's very difficult to acquire magnesium in today's natural world. Go to our website. I'm sure we got a bunch of different discount codes. It's the best magnesium bicarbonate on the market. It's the highest dose for the cheapest price. And that is something you can add in. I like adding that in with some sodium bicarbonate, carbonating the water even more, and then definitely making sure you get enough potassium-rich foods, potatoes and oranges. Calcium, bioavailable calcium-rich foods from raw dairy is extremely important. From bone broth, I believe, seaweed, I believe, boiled leafy greens. I think oysters even have good bioavailable calcium. Some herbs have good bioavailable calcium. And basically you combine all these minerals together, but you have that drink with the magnesium bicarbonate in your water throughout your day. You're gonna be seeing a lot more hydration. You're gonna need to drink less water, but more importantly, you're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna think clearer, you're gonna perform better, you're gonna have less fatigue, you're gonna have more stamina, more ATP production, more power production, especially if you're an athlete or you're getting into sprints. And you combine it with trigger pointing. This is your foundational program, guys. I don't care if you power lift, you know, that's a sport. I'm against it for functionality and lifestyle in my clients, but if you're competitive about it like I was with powerlifting, sure, by all means, but you know, it's not a functional movement, that's for sure. We'll get into that some other video. Or a functional exercise program, I guess you could say. Anyways, we have the ball on the middle of the groin, and I'm just burying my leg into the groin. I should have been talking about this. Bury your leg, push the leg into the groin as much as you can. And you want to get to the point where you are kind of shaking. Now, once again, I'm laying down. I'm not trying to compromise my lower back. You can lay down all the way like this, push the groin in. You can keep your knee 90 degrees, or you can extend it. You can lay down with the barbell, which I'm going to show you shortly. You can actually get to the point where it's kind of shaking, and that's good because the nervous system definitely engraves a lot of motor patterns that you will notice certain areas are just a lot more tender than others, a lot more shaky, a lot more dull and sore. And what I mean by shaky is that the muscle kind of starts spasming. And that's a good thing, that's also a bad thing. But get to that spasm and then just hold it there, that's good. And then let it kind of subside, relax, and then try to go a little bit deeper. You're not trying to push outside of your threshold of pain, guys. You're trying to just ease into this. 5 to 10 minutes each muscle. But once you hit that barrier, just hold it, relax. Maybe distract yourself if you can, but I don't like to distract myself. I like to just focus on and release it because I think there is an emotional, spiritual connection with the physical body, obviously. So when we just kind of eliminate distractions, this world is filled with them. We can focus on, why am I feeling this pain? Am I holding on to some trauma from my past? You don't have to figure it out, but you can just ask God, you can ask yourself, and you can just kind of let it leave your body, per se. And this is a very important cue. I don't care if you're atheist, agnostic, you believe in God, you don't. This is an important cue of putting your mind and your spiritual, mental, emotional focus towards that trigger point and allowing it to depart from your body. You don't want to just blindly do this like a robot and I can take pain. That's not the goal, guys. The goal is to release these emotional traumas, because if you have anxiety, depression, if you have any sort of mental condition or emotional condition, I guess you could say, there's so many different labels, whatever. You get the idea. Stress. This is the #1 way to reduce it. In fact, I believe trigger pointing has eliminated 90%, if not all, my anxiety. Yes, I still get anxiety sometimes. It's a natural part of the human body. But unnecessary anxiety and depression has been eliminated a lot through trigger pointing. I need to do it more often. That's the key, is we don't do it enough. But when you get into it, guys, you will really feel a difference, and you will appreciate me, but you also appreciate functional patterns. You'll appreciate God. You'll appreciate the people that have come up with these techniques and triggers and these modalities that I've learned from as well. because it's all about going slow. It's all about going deep to the bone, exploring, allowing that pain to depart. But you can't allow that pain to depart if you force it, meaning, oh, like that. If you go too hard, I'm going a little bit up the groin now. If you go too hard, it's going to kind of like give you a backlash effect. Invite it in, hold it. Time is your friend, guys. 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even 15 to 20. I've done 30-minute trigger points just on one spot before, and it helped for a whole week, a whole month one time. I wasn't consistent on it, but you should be. That's a way to do it too. I recommend doing a multitude of trigger points though, and sticking to a plan like we have, keeping it consistent. That's gonna make sure that you're consistent with all these trigger points. But time is your friend. Exploring, taking the time. This is just a modality, a template to get you started. I still use it, of course. But sometimes I just shut the heck up and I just listen to my body and I just go and explore these trigger points. Yes, I do combine it with the correctives. This is why we have the Foundational Fitness Program. Once again, code Nick for 25% off. This is why we have the magnesium bicarbonate. But the Foundational Fitness Program is important because that is what has the correctives. How to stand, how to walk, how to move your body properly, what movements to avoid, what movements to add in. You know, it's basically changing your entire workout program. You will still build muscle, but the main thing is our focus shouldn't just be muscle aesthetics. It should be posture, performance, right? Getting out of pain, longevity, guys, and getting back to the way God intended the body to be, the way it was created. So intelligently designed, not by monkeys in a big bang. Woo! A lot of stress relief there. Take your barbell if you want. If you're not already done with the softball, you can be done if you want. But once again, 5 to 10 minutes each muscle. I'm going to keep saying that. Time is your friend. Take the barbell. You can go all the way down to the knee. If you're just doing the knee, you can just hold it there, guys. You can balance. I don't even want to, but I can balance the barbell down here. That's going to be extremely painful. Once again, we're not trying. It's not a pain contest. Pain isn't necessarily doesn't result in the desired effect, the goal of releasing the trigger point. Meaning, pain isn't just going to release it. It's more just time, like I said, and exploring different angles and trying to get into that fascia. Once again, we're trying to rehydrate that fascia. But in order to rehydrate it as deep as we can, we got to go as deep as we can gradually. Allow that pain in, guys. Take this barbell, try going all the way up to your groin. And I can't really get deep to the groin. Now, here's the key with the groin. It's hard to access with any other tool but this. I like to take my heel and dig in like that. Honestly, corrective exercises and trigger points, I would give up all fitness. I basically kind of have. I don't even work out as much anymore as nearly as you're used to. But feeling good is such a better trade-off than looking good and being in pain and suffering. Because when you feel good, you actually perform better. Which is awesome anyways. But don't you want to feel good? You know, being tense and calcified and unknowingly tense and calcified is very draining on the body, in your brain. And when you got stressors all around your entire life, it doesn't matter what supplement or diet regimen you're on, you will never fix it. If you have these deep-seated trigger points, you will never fix your stress issues unless you get to the root, which is trigger pointing. 100%, guys. Think of it like a ship that's sinking. And you know, you're on these, excuse me, that was just intense. You're paying for all this grass-fed food, this incredible farm food, which, you know, that's what I'm doing, obviously. But when you neglect trigger pointing as your foundational health tool, your ship is sinking. You got a hole in there, and you're just trying to patch it up with all these tinctures, with all these vitamins and supplements. And, you know, we sell a supplement, magnesium bicarbonate too, but once again, the magnesium bicarbonate's not going to work if you can't hold on to water, guys. You know, take our This is why on the magnesium bicarbonate bottle that we sell, right on the side of it, we say, hey, if you want to enhance your results with magnesium, you have to, trigger point, you have to have a balanced diet. I don't like saying that word, but you get the idea. We go into more detail on that with our foundational fitness program and the rest of this free guide, actually. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. A lot of ranting, but that's the way we do it. There's a lot of things to talk about. Once again, 5 to 10 minutes each muscle, go deep to the bone, explore the entire groin. I feel like jello, baby. I felt horrible before this. My groin was very intense, or very dehydrated. So spend some time on it, guys. I'll see you soon.